Hello, I'm Celeste.
Hey, I'm Earth.
All right, so we got Earth on here,
Hey, I'm Katiana.
Katiana on here from Kenzie. Who else?
Hey, I'm Brandy.
All right, we got Brandy. Okay.
This is
Hello,
Baba Tunde.
Amanda.
Oh,
Yeah, go ahead.
Baba Tunde.
Cool. Do we have anyone else? I heard some voices too.
Yeah, I'm Corey.
Corey, what's going on? Okay, so we have a full house here. I think we have 8 or 9 people from Kenzie who started in July, and for this AMA, basically, let me mute everyone again. For this AMA, the structure is going to be kind of letting the people who started introduce themselves. So the folks on the call, you'll kind of get to know their stories, where they were before Career Karma, before starting their boot camp. And then we'll open it up for questions, and I'll just let our panelists jump in and answer them as they come. Before we actually start with AMA, I wanted to make a few announcements. So I know in July, one of the reasons why so many people were able to start boot camps, including Kenzie, was we were able to find laptops, and we were able to help people with laptops, because some people who joined Career Karma, they were studying on their phones and they needed laptops to start school. And so Ruben and Archer and I, we talked about how we can help. And so what we're going to do in August is we're actually going to do like a raffle, and we're going to give away 2 MacBook Airs to people who apply and who have start dates in August, to make sure that whoever has a dream, there's a chance you can actually get a laptop, and that will help you start. Eventually, we'll try to get even more resources, but for people to get laptops, you just have to get accepted into a school and let us know what your start date is. And if you got accepted this month and you have a start date this month, you'll be entered into the raffle. And so 2 people will get a MacBook Air so they can start their classes. Yep. Okay, so with that said, let's kick off this AMA. I think, Earth, you were the first person who got accepted into Kenzie from Career Karma. So I'll let you kick things off and maybe share a little bit about yourself, your goals, your background, how you found us, what Career Karma means to you, and now how things are coming along at Kenzie.
Everybody, welcome to Career Karma. Sometimes we accidentally say Credit Karma, but it's so close. So my name is Earth, and I'm from the Washington, D.C. area. Little tidbits about myself. I have 3 children. Well, they are my grown humans. I have 2 that one has graduated from college, and I have another one graduating next year. One in cybersecurity, and the one that graduated from cybersecurity is going back for another year. And then my son, he is in communications at Morgan State, and he graduates next year. I've been in retail customer service for about over 20 years, and to be honest, I'm over it. Cursed out a few people, just to be real. I'm just saying, customer service is, that's all it's customer service. I've been doing it for a long time, so I've pretty much mastered that part of my life. My goal, so I am a part of this a movement called Indigenous Peoples Movement, and it's a coalition of people from different tribes, indigenous tribes. And I'm a part of a tribe down in South Carolina. My family has lots of family down in South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, and we come together every year for powwow. And I also help out a lot of other indigenous reservations around the United States with just different things like missing murdered indigenous women, now children, men as well go missing. That's a whole nother topic. But my goal, I would love to have an app where we can track a lot of the women that go missing, or a lot of our people that go missing. And not necessarily indigenous people, not necessarily people that come from the reservations, but my other side, my Black side, like there's a lot of us that go missing. There's a lot of women that go missing. And I would love to have like an app where we can track, at least keep account, because there's a lot of untold stories. How I found Career Karma was through Instagram. One of my colleagues at Indigenous Peoples Movement reposted one of Ruben's posts. And I had just come back from California. I lived there for like 2 years working in the cannabis industry. And it got very expensive to live in not in San Francisco, but I was living in Santa Rosa, which is about an hour from San Francisco. And it just got really expensive. And I was not trying to be homeless in California, and all my family is in the East Coast. So I was like, I'm going home.
Mm-hmm.
No plan. I just need to come home. So I would say in June, I saw that post, and it's been on and popping ever since. I think Kenzie was probably my first choice because, you know, I was looking at other schools because I wanted to work. And I told Ruben, I said, hey, so I just came home, I'm not working. Is there a possibility for me to work at some point? And he was like, you should apply at Kenzie. So I looked into it and I applied. And as soon as I applied, I got accepted. Like, I knew I was in because the guy that I talked to was like, oh yeah, you're in. You're going to get an email tomorrow. I was like, oh, okay. So I'll save this news for tomorrow and blast it all over Instagram and Twitter. But the way anybody else that came in after me, their experience is definitely different than mine. Mine's is like, it got streamlined after me. So I don't know how Babatunde's experience was going in versus Brandy or Katiana. I just know it was like, oh, Earth, you're in. Oh, you might want to think about it. Oh, Earth, you're in. Oh, your ISA wasn't approved, but you're still in. So it's been an emotional roller coaster for me. Even up until last Friday, I got an email saying that my ISA wasn't approved. And I'm like, yo, I got an A right now. Yeah. What's up? Like, I'm trying to, like, right now, to be real, I have until the 19th to prove myself and keep my A, or keep, I think it's like 80% or something like that. And I know I can do it. It's just very daunting right now because the work is really, it's kind of hard. But I know I got a great team. My folks at Career Karma, like, I love y'all. Like, I really love y'all. But yeah.
All right, that's a great introduction, and we're also so happy that you did join our community in June, and that you've been a very vocal, and you're actually a squad leader now with Katiana of the Kenzie Academy squad in the app. And you all have done an amazing job answering questions and helping people behind you get a few steps ahead. So thank you so much, Earth, for sharing that. We'll come back to you when we start taking questions, but I know there's like 8 or 9 other people who also started alongside Earth in July. Brandy or Katiana, do you guys want to jump in and introduce yourselves and a little bit about your stories?
Sure, I'll go quickly. My story kind of goes back to December. By the way, I'm Brandy. If you guys missed that, so back in December, I saw a Lambda School ad, and I started the process then and started their pre-course, but I wasn't really able to get into it, and so I kind of set it down until April when I saw the Career Karma ad go across Facebook, and I was like, I'm gonna give this a shot, see what happens. And so that was April 8th that I started with my 21-day challenge. By the end of my 21-day challenge, I had applied to Flatiron and gotten accepted. Then a couple weeks later, applied to Lambda, got accepted. And so this is May, and I'm looking at a possible start day of July 8th with Lambda School. Tell them to stop. And so we get to that point, and I'm sitting up here thinking like, okay, now I got to find a job. And I was having difficulty with that. And I was like, if I'm in boot camp and I just so happen to get a job that I have to work a night shift, I need something that's going to be more flexible. So I'm just going to self-teach. And so after that point, I started my own little personal thing, pulling from everywhere, making sure I'm learning every day. I also signed up like with this evening cohort that I check in with every night and learning React, because I was like, I got to do this. This is what I need to be doing. And then Ruben came to me and he was like, have you tried Kenzie? So I applied to Kenzie, set up my interview, and they were saying, okay, hey, we got your application. And then I did my interview, and at the end of my interview, she was like, okay, so we're going to go ahead and set up your financial call. And I'm like, okay. So she gets so far into setting that up, and I asked her, I said, so does that mean I'm accepted or what's going on? And she's like, oh, yes, definitely. Sorry, I flew completely past that. Yes, you've been accepted. And I was like, wow, that's quick. That was amazing. That's fast, because I had to wait a few days with everybody else. So literally at the end of my phone call, I knew I'm going to Kenzie. Fast forward, my ISA actually went to pending status because there are some things that need to be done. And so they were like, okay, we're going to have your 30-day check-in. So I'm right there with Earth. Like, I got to make sure my attendance is on point, my grades are on point, because I don't want to lose my positioning. And then I lost my grandmother Friday, so that's been a whole nother challenge. But Kenzie has been amazing. There's been nothing but support. You let them know what you have going on, and they definitely are working with you.
Brandy, thank you so much for sharing. Sorry about your grandmother. I can't even imagine what it's like kind of dealing with all the pressure of school and family, and then this passing. And I appreciate you staying strong and joining us tonight as well.
Anytime.
Yeah, I actually have Ruben who is joining me here. I think Ruben is one of the reasons why a lot of you found out about Kenzie. You were probably on the call at some point in July or June, speaking about different schools. And Kenzie, we added Kenzie recently to Fast Track and Career Karma, because what we're seeing is that we're listening to our users, and a lot of people don't want to pay up front, so they need something that has an ISA. A lot of people come to us and they want to do this, but it's a lot to balance with school, work, family. And so Kenzie was one of the first schools that stood out to us when we were doing our research on them, that not only are they incentivized to help you get a job because of the ISA, but they also help people work while they're learning. And so it completely changed the game for a lot of people who are on the call tonight. And so, yeah, I'm just happy to see that now we have 83 people on this call listening in on the journey of the Kenzie folks.
Yeah, no, I think it's really cool to see everybody's progress. Like Timur said, we did a lot of research about Kenzie, and now to see over 20 people from Career Karma in Kenzie for July, and then 84 people here. Lorraine, doing her interviews, and everybody that's here sharing their experiences and giving back to help. So shout out to everybody that's in Kenzie now helping out. It's a beautiful thing. So we're excited to see everyone that starts in August. You already told them about the giveaway that we're doing?
I have, but maybe you can tell them again, just for people who just joined.
You know, like for me, I speak with over 200 of you all every single day. And so something that I hear consistently is needs for laptops, needs for living stipends, needs for all kinds of other things outside of technicals. And one of the main ones is the tools that you need, which is a laptop. And so we wanted to see what we can do to help you all. So we are going to be giving out 2 MacBook Pros to people that have start days in August. And the reason why we chose to give it out to people that have start dates in August is for the people that take this the most seriously. Like, we want to help 1 billion people in 10 years, and waiting is expensive, right? So you all are here for a reason. There's 85 of you all that, and we talked about this in the kickoff, that if you look at the media, they will say that you all don't exist, but you all do exist. They say that there's no women in tech, there's no Black people in tech, no people older or younger, but we're here, right? And so I want to do whatever I can to put you all in a position to win as soon as possible. So anything that I can do, like, just know that this laptop giveaway is the first of many, but for anybody that's about that life, I promise you we got your back 1,000%.
Yeah. And just by show of hands, I know some people come to us and they're like, can I get a laptop? And I always tell them, like, we have more people than laptops, and I usually add people to the wait list and I let them know. But just so people know that this is a real thing, did anyone on this call get a laptop from Career Karma? Just so people know that it's actually real. We do care about you. If you did, you can post in the chat. But let's keep going with the introductions, because I also want to get to the Q&A portion. Anybody else from Kenzie want to jump in and share a little bit about your story and how you chose Kenzie?
I'll jump in real quick, just really quick. Hey everyone, I'm Katiana. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I graduated from St. John's University last year with a bachelor's in communications. My goal was to be an entertainment lawyer, but I don't know, while I was working in the sports industry, I felt like something was missing, and I knew that me becoming a lawyer was not it. So I did a lot of research, and I came across Flatiron's UX UI design program. And that's when I realized, hey, this is something I want to do because I'm very creative and I'm a content creator. So I did research on that, and I posted it on Twitter when I got accepted there. And that's when Ruben liked my tweet. And all of a sudden after that, I just kept saying Career Karma. And I'm like, what is that? So I decided to join, and the rest was history. I met some amazing people. I got into the full stack development group. I'm a squad leader for them as well. And that's when Timur texted me about Kenzie, and I decided, hey, why not? Let me check that out, because they have the UX and the engineering program together. So I applied for that, and I got accepted instantly that same day. And this is why I'm here now. Yeah.
Awesome. And I appreciate you leading the squad. I think the Kenzie squad went from being just a few initial folks to now over 100.
And like, for the people that are putting messages in the app about waiting lists for the laptops, essentially all you got to do is get accepted into a boot camp with the start date. It doesn't have to be Kenzie, but just get accepted with the boot camp that has a start date in August and start the boot camp, and then we can essentially get you into a raffle for a laptop, because we can't give laptops to everybody yet, but we are going to give away 2 this month. I think I also want to say something about Katana. So, like, she's from Brooklyn, but she looks like she's sitting in the cloud right now in the sky on the West Coast. What are you doing right now?
So I'm actually with 8 Heroes, and they are the ones responsible for Career Karma's YouTube videos. I am proud to say that I am actually part of 8 Heroes. I'm staring at them right now. So yes, I'm at the West Coast. So yeah, I'm at the West Coast.
You say a sports agency or sports industry, like, tell them what you mean by that, like, because It's interesting blending tech with sports.
Yes. So, as I mentioned before, I wanted to become a lawyer, entertainment lawyer, and I thought being in the sports industry, I could like mix that together. But then while I was there, I realized it wasn't for me. So while I was okay, forgot to mention, I worked for the NBA. Um, I was making so many connections there, and I found out about the production team, and they told me about coding, they told me about product management, and that's when I decided, hey, why not get into the whole UX engineering program? So after I graduate, I thought, why not create an app that relates to sports since I'm already in it, and also have people in the community of Career Karma to join me. So
Awesome. And we'll dive deeper to unpack the differences between software engineering and UX engineering. But yeah, it's so great to see you. I think for people who maybe just joined Career Karma this week, or they joined Career Karma in the last 2 weeks and maybe you haven't finished your challenge yet, I think everyone starts out the journey thinking that coding is going to be the hardest thing. But coding is actually, it's not the easiest, but it's not the hardest thing. I think figuring out your life roadmap, especially preparing for this career transition and preparing for the bootcamp, is the hardest thing. And it's not going to be Ruben and I advising you on how to get yourself ready. It's going to be people in our community. And the reason we invited the 9 people from Kenzie is that they had to figure out for themselves, how do they get their finances in order? How do they get their families on board with this big life decision? How do they set up kind of their time, their schedule to be able to do this? And as you all are doing the challenge and you're trying to figure out what would your personal roadmap would look like, just reach out to them. They had to figure out a lot of that stuff on their own, and yours is going to be different than theirs, but they can save you already a lot of time, so you don't have to create something from scratch. And that's the whole thing about Career Karma. And as you're doing it, obviously reach out to other people from different schools. That's why you have Career Karma. And the biggest thing you can do on this journey is just build out your connections and your network. So that's why we have calls like this. Let's see. Let's keep going. I think we got a few more folks. Corey, I think you.
Yeah, I could chime in. Tomorrow, I could.
Yeah,
chime
Michael.
In. But yeah, I was accepted to Kenzie. I actually I received a call from Jordan a few days ago because she wanted to know, because they opened up that new cohort in August, correct?
Yeah,
So,
there's an August 27th cohort
right.
For Kenzie as well.
So I told them about my situation with the ISA, and I had applied for that HOPE, and then she asked me what was the process, or where was I at with that at the time. I told her they were supposed to get back in contact with me. So she said she'll look into it and get back in contact with me. I'm still waiting for her.
Yeah.
However, I was accepted into Columbia Engineering that starts in September through the Cognizant program.
Mm-hmm.
That program is fully paying for my tuition straight up. No ISA, nothing. I've been accepted, and that's my career path so far. However,
Thanks, Michael.
I haven't stopped applying, because they opened up a program with Full Stack Academy, a cybersecurity bootcamp. Very, very interesting. I watched their tutorials on about 4 hours of videos on cyber hacking, and my gosh, this career path is probably where I would like to go.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of similar to what I used to do at my old job because I work.
Hey, Michael, yeah. Let's. I'm sorry because I'm gonna have to interrupt you because we do wanna. We have a few more.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah. I know there's others from Kenzie that want to.
Yeah, let's leave it for questions after we get the introductions done, and then we can have a discussion. I just want to make sure that everyone else who started in July, since I asked them to join, they get to go, and we'll come back to everyone else, and we'll come back to questions.
So is this for people that's just been accepted for the July cohort, or what about the August?
So basically this AMA, so we have 9 people who, some of the folks who started in July, they're sharing their experience during their first 2 weeks. So I want to get to a few more folks to introduce themselves, and then we'll open it for questions. Yeah, no problem. Corey, I know you had an interesting story too before Kenzie, because you literally jumped in last minute. Do you mind sharing with folks kind of the ups and downs of what your career transition looked like?
Yeah, sure. So I've always been a real big fan of coding. When I was in middle school, I had like a website that I was kind of doing on my own. Then I kind of got out of the coding a little bit, and then fast forward, I was working contract work at Google, and I was just recently, like a week before Kenzie started, I had lost my job, and I was trying to figure out, what I was going to do. I already had a plan that I was going to do a coding boot camp. So I actually found Career Karma as an ad on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so I started doing that. And then when I lost my job, I was I was in the middle of sending Tamara an email. I was about to press end, and I get a phone call from Ruben. So I kind of tell him my story, what was going on and everything. And because I was actually going to try for Lambda. Well, Ruben had mentioned Kenzie and said they had the Earn and Learn program. I was like, okay, cool. So I applied. I had my interview with one of the software engineering facilitators. And then they transferred me back to the admissions and automatically got accepted right then, and sent me the email for the Earn and Learn. But I'm also in the same boat as Earth and Brandy. I'm on the 30-day kind of like probation period due to the ISA. But I absolutely love it. I don't regret my decision one bit.
Awesome. Yeah, Corey, thanks a lot for sharing. And I know it was rocky beforehand, because you weren't sure like what your next month or two are going to look like. And now you're in this place.
I think it's also pretty cool, given that you were able to overcome that obstacle. Because something I hear on the phones a lot is people are intimidated to apply to a school because they have credit issues or they might have debt obligations. But don't let that hold you back. The worst that you can do is try. It's stop. The worst thing that you can do is stop. But like the worst thing that can happen is that they say no and we find another place that works for you. But I had spoken with the CEO of Kenzie last week. And we share a lot of feedback directly with them about what we're seeing in Career Karma. And they learned a lot from the people in July. And we want to specifically help the people that are in August overcome their issues. So don't let that hold you back from applying to Kenzie.
It's more than that, Ruben. I've actually tried to mention this to a few friends and family members. However, they're really scared and intimidated that they don't know computers. They never played with a computer. They feel like if they touch the mouse, they wouldn't know which direction to go. And I'm telling them, don't be so scared. Just try it. First off, join Career Karma and join into these webinars and stuff and hear other people's testimonies. But it's hard for them. Like they feel like they can't do it. And that's the biggest issue. They feel they cannot do it.
Yeah, we all feel that way. So, shout out to everybody that's going to continue sharing their stories right now. You and everybody else here that's inspiring each other. So, we all get psychological barriers. So, who's the next person that's going to share this?
Yeah, I think we got a few more. Let's. I know we got Reina, we got Bob Bonte. Babatunde, my bad. And there's a few more folks. I know Xavier. There's a lot of you. We have Xavier. We have who else do we got here? Hector on here. So can you all also introduce yourself, and then we'll open it up for questions.
Yeah, I guess I'll go first. Next. So my name is Babatunde. From Chicago. So basically, I've always been around like tech and like engineering, roles. Since I graduated high school at 17, I was, basically programming. But you can't really tell like a 17-year-old that, like programming is the stuff to do, because that one of my first experience was just sitting down at a table and just like, like that wasn't me. You know, I was like, no, I'm not gonna do this. That doesn't seem like something like I would do. So I go to college. My major actually was computer engineering, but I swapped later on to mechanical engineering because I was more like with cars and stuff like that. But I eventually left. I went to I don't know if you guys know UTI. It was the technical like school for like mechanics or whatnot. I got my certification there in automotive and diesel. I worked a few years at Honda and Sears, but it just wasn't what I really wanted. Um, and then so I just basically worked like job to job, basically just breaking my back. And now I just work for Uber and Lyft just to get by. And I found Career Karma actually on it was an ad on YouTube. I think it was like from a Philip DeFranco video or something like that. And I was like, normally I skip ads. I was like, nah, man. But then like I don't know what it was. I was just like, wait a second, hold on. I just watched it. I was like, I'm gonna check that out. So and basically I haven't turned back since, man. I'm like, like, and one of my biggest aspirations was actually my little brother. Like, he's actually really into it now. So like me and him have been just like bouncing off ideas and just been talking about it more. So really, like, honestly, he was like my real, like, my eye opener to like, man, this is like, this is huge right now. I need to get myself back into it. And like, and then like, even like I've been talking to Ruben, like basically like he checks up with me like every week, like over the summer, like basically like every like Friday he would check up on me. And then he told me about Kenzie. And like he was like, yeah, have you thought about Kenzie? I was like, nah, I didn't even know Kenzie was on the radar. Like, I've applied to like Coding Dojo, Full Stack, all these other schools, but I'm still waiting on a reply. He's like, nah, then check out Kenzie, see what they say. I'm like, all right, cool. I talked to Kenzie like literally within like the first week. Like, I was doing my test. I talked to the financial people, everything. That's like I was already in, and like I haven't looked back. Like,
No, man.
it was great.
I love that you're doing it with your brother too. Timor and his twin brother. We talk with fraternal triplets, and then my other brother too. He's in it. I'm already talking to my sister about doing the same thing, and then everybody in CK, we family. So I think it's amazing to see that. So shout out to you and your brother, and thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
It's cool, and congrats. I think I haven't picked up since you've been in it. So nice work.
Let's see. Anybody else wants to jump in next from Kenzie?
I want to jump in for a second, Tima.
Okay, yeah, go ahead, Thomas.
I want to tell everybody, I got an interview for Kenzie, although I am in Flatiron, and I was considering both schools in the beginning, and I think as much as I'd love to go to Kenzie, I can't jump out of Flatiron because I already have an ISA for this school, and the best thing for me to do, instead of letting everybody have their preconceptions about me that I can't make it or I can't do it, I have to stick with the school I started with, because if I go to Kenzie Academy now, everything's gonna be for naught.
Yeah, Tom, and I appreciate you sharing that too. I think Flatiron is also a really good school, and what people don't want to do is, like, once you make a decision, what we always say is you want to get accepted into multiple schools, because there's not one school that's perfect for everyone. Flatiron has a lot of part-time options that are online, that have ISAs, and so you got to decide what's the best option for you, and then commit to it and stick with it. Because at the end of the day, it's going to be you doing the work and learning the stuff anyways. Whether you're learning from Kenzie instructors or Flatiron instructors, your drive, your curiosity is what's going to make you successful. And so the last thing you want to do is just change course. You want to stick to a course and go through it. You're on the right track. So
I just wish that Flatiron had what Kenzie had. The part-time job where you can work, earn money, and still code at the same time.
What's going to be interesting as you all are going on this journey and as the world changes is there's going to be a bunch of amazing shiny objects and new schools that are going to come out with new things for everybody. It's very easy to get distracted. For example, Like we started Career Karma about a year ago, and there's all kinds of new shiny objects and all kinds of big money offers that people are offering us, but we can't get distracted. We got to stay focused on what we started on, because that's going to happen a dime a dozen. So like Timur said, you can't go wrong with the choices that you made within Career Karma. If you're excited about Kenzie and you haven't chosen the school, definitely apply to Kenzie if you're interested in it, but apply to other schools. Once you make a decision, stick with it and don't quit, and I promise you all will make it to the goal.
And if it weren't for you guys, I'd still be contemplating schools right now if I hadn't found Career Karma and looking at Lambda Rad online.
We're super proud of you, Thomas, man. Nice work.
Yeah, thanks, Thomas. Let's get, I know we have about, we might have to go a little over time, but I want to still give opportunity to other people who started Kenzie to also introduce themselves. I know there's a few of you on here.
Hi, Timur. I'll jump in. This is Raina.
Yeah.
You guys can hear me. My phone battery is really low, so I'm going to talk really quick. I found Career Karma by accident. I was in another group. I was on Twitter. I didn't know anything about it. I did the 21-day challenge, and now everything is rosy. I have people who want to help me in tech. I have a great cohort at Kenzie. I had switched from software engineering to UX engineering because I love everything that's art and visual, and I'm just excited. So if anybody's on the fence about Kenzie, I can tell you firsthand, do not be. I would say run fast, embrace it. It's a different community where people want to help you. There's all types of software, there's all types of courses that's out there on the internet, but the one thing I can say about Kenzie is they really care. And I did sign up for the Earn and Learn, and I just was hoping and praying I got it, and I just got confirmation this week. Woo!
Huge.
Woo!
Yeah.
I'm excited, and I'm finally finding my passion. And real quick, my background is I was a bank manager. I was working in India, and I trained my replacement. So you can fill in the rest. So I knew that I could either sit still or I could follow the tide. And following the tide means paying attention to what's going on. And what's going on right now is tech. And what's going on right now is Career Karma is the only ones out there on the internet who passionately every day want to help you succeed. Because when we succeed, they succeed. So that's my soundbite because I think my phone battery is dying. I wanted you guys to see this beautiful sunset.
Oh, that's gorgeous. Wow.
And I'm here to celebrate my birthday.
Yeah.
So that's all I got. So my phone battery.
That's Raina, thank you so much for finding the time, and we're excited for your journey too. Keep us posted.
Love your energy too, by the way. Good vibes.
Okay.
Yeah. I think we got a few more, Xavier. We got a few more folks to introduce themselves.
Hey everybody, how you doing? My name's Xavier. I got accepted into Kenzie in the July cohort. So what I first saw Career Karma on Instagram. I was actually promoting some products, and I saw Ruben come on and start talking. So I checked it out, and so went through the 21 days. Ruben reached out. Tamara reached out. Basically everybody that was headed Career Karma reached out. I went and I liked Kenzie. I really didn't apply to anything else. I'm not gonna lie. So Tamara, Ruben, they told me what they told you guys. Hey, you should apply for different kind of schools and this and that. But I didn't because of the head of admissions, and her name is Danielle. She was very straightforward, very open. And so that was one of the things that I admired. She answered everybody else's questions, and I went and I did it, and I've liked the experience so far. So my background is I've always liked tech as a kid. What really just got me into tech, I was promoting something on Instagram and I wanted to automate it. So I was using this website called InstaZoo. I wanted to make my own, so I went to go look for an Instagram bot. I saw one made in Python, but I couldn't run it. So I had to open up my terminal, didn't know anything about Linux or anything like that. So when I finally got it to run from my terminal, that really excited me, and that let me know that I was good for tech and I could do this. So ever since then, I've been looking into blockchain development, Solidity, blockchain contracts, smart contracts. And so I've really jumped in and really have my mind focused. So I'm in the software engineering part, full stack development. And I just like to build things full scale. I like to know them in and out. And so that's my thing. That's why I joined the software engineering part. And it's just really exciting and really challenging. So I like that's going to challenge my mind every day and just keep me going. If it can challenge me and keep me going, I love it. Yeah. So that's my story.
Finish Kenzie, bro. He's talking like a pro right now.
Yeah, man. Thanks, Ruben. I'm just really striving hard, man. Turning in my lessons ahead of time. I have 100% in my grades right now. So yeah, I'm really striving.
Yeah, I wanna take a second to also give a shout out to all the parents on this call. It's beautiful to see you finding the time to invest in yourself and also take care of your kids. I think there's a number of parents who started Kenzie in July as well. So make sure that you reach out to others to get advice on how to manage your time. Any questions about that? That's one of the main reasons why we built Career Karma. So shout out to all of you. I think we got a few more. I think it's exciting to see so many people from so many different backgrounds coming together, and they're just united by seeing, like Reina said, the wave rise. And a lot of tech is disrupting not just tech, but every industry. And so you all are not just investing in yourself, but in several years, just think about the type of companies that you'll be able to start together, right? This is the opportunities are limitless. So yeah, I want to see who else from Kenzie is on this call. Anybody else? Okay, so let's open it up for questions. I think since so many people, one of the reasons why we invited you is you all just did 2 weeks of Kenzie. So feel free to jump in and like share what your 2-week experience is, and then I encourage people to follow up with questions and just have like a good discussion for the next 20 minutes. Anybody wants to share what their what did they not expect about the first 2 weeks?
So I'll jump in on that one. What I didn't expect about the first 2 weeks is just, so when we get on our Zoom calls, we see the people in the classroom, they see us. When we have a question, it's instantaneous that we can unmute ourselves and that we can say, hey, I have a question. We can say, hey, okay, so what would happen if you ran this code that way? We are actually a part of the actual class, even though we're at home sitting on our computer. And I didn't expect my first innovator series, which is what they call it when they bring in the people. Oh my goodness. So that actually made me cry because I got a chance to do the personal interview with them. So I got to actually meet Jeff Hoffman behind Priceline, and that was huge for me. And I asked the question, and I said, everybody else, a lot of people that I'm meeting kind of know what their thing is, what they want to do in tech. And all I know is I want to code. I want to be in this space. I want to occupy this. I want to do something with it. But I don't know my niche just yet. And he said, don't worry about knowing that. Just go everywhere, try everything. See a building, walk in, go on every floor. And literally 2 days before, my son had me walk the entire hospital. And I was just like, that's amazing that here I am with my 8-year-old who's taking me through these experiences. And then as I'm sitting here talking about my career journey, they're like, yeah, do what your 8-year-old just had you do, but do it in the form of tech. And I'm like, okay, cool. So yeah, just the support, that first day, I didn't expect orientation to be like it was. We actually got a chance to meet Chalk our very first day. and everybody's so open and so amazing. And I didn't expect the culture to really bleed through into class the way it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think the fact that you are able to like speak directly with somebody like Jeff Hoffman that early is actually very, I mean, like that's $1 billion company. So it's a very powerful company. And I think that they're going to keep doing things like that. So, and I think it's awesome that you were able to connect the personal thing from your son to the insight that he gave you. Because a lot of stuff that we're already doing are things that create $1 billion industries or $1 trillion industries that we just don't know how to translate it. So it's awesome to see you connecting that already. And we can't wait to see what you're going to do in the future too.
Yes, they've got me all kind of excited.
Awesome, Brandy. Thanks for definitely thanks for sharing.
Anybody else?
I just want to piggyback off what Brandy said. So yeah, when they brought Jeff Hoffman in, it was a complete game changer for me. They actually bring in people from the industry that's actually doing something. And so when Jeff came in, just I mean, to win a Grammy and yeah, like so that was huge. And you can connect with these people and actually build connections and networks that you weren't in before. The guy explicitly said, if you're from Kenzie, you know, you're good. So, I mean, that's something big right there because you don't get to make these kind of connections every day. And I'll just be the first to tell you, tech is like a kind of a touchy world. So you're not just going to get in just to get in. If you don't have these connections, if you don't have special connections with people, you won't even know about certain jobs. So that's just a big thing right there.
That's probably the reason why we created the Career Karma Network, because we do have the people, but like don't sleep on the connections, don't sleep on the communication, which is why we encourage you all to talk to people and ask questions. You all have a unique opportunity to ask people in Kenzie right now the right questions so you know how to get in as well, so don't sleep on that.
Yeah, and realize that the people who are a few steps ahead of you, like today you might reach out to them and ask Earth about like how to get in, but she's probably going to be in a job before you are. So then the conversation in 12 months from now, when Earth is working as an engineer, like if you maintain that relationship for the next 12 months, right? And you actually build a true authentic relationship, then she'll be able to introduce you to the company that she's working with. And then you can build the same thing, the same relationship with Corey and Brandy. And that's the important thing about Career Karma is that you learn and you have the keys that you wouldn't otherwise, because most jobs are found through referrals and not by applying online. And if you're just by yourself outside of tech, you don't really know where to start. So now you can just reach out to people, learn from them, and then you'll have a way to give back to people behind you once you're a few steps ahead.
I think it's an important point because the question I get a lot on the phones is like, after I'm done with the 21-day challenge, am I done with Career Karma? And the answer is no. Like clearly you see everybody that's here, that's still in the programs. I get messages from people that are still in boot camps all the time asking for guidance that they don't feel comfortable sharing with other people, and us having to do what we got to do to speak with the schools to make sure that they're treating you all right. So, you know, it doesn't stop here.
Yeah. And we are, I think as a startup, we put a lot of focus on helping people in the first few stages of just getting their careers and getting their roadmaps started. But now we're also trying to find ways through our network to help you find a way to succeed in the boot camp. And so this Thursday, as an example, we're going to have Iris Nevins. She's an engineer at MailChimp, but she's also a former teacher who started listening to our podcast, Breaking into Startups, back in 2016. And she's gone through a boot camp. She is working at MailChimp for 2 years now. And Iris is joining in on Thursday in a similar Zoom call, similar AMA, and she's going to talk about time management.
And that same Thursday in the Bay Area, if you're here, you can pull up to our office. We're doing the meetup in the Bay too. So.
Yeah, and so I'm going to drop a link for Iris's AMA so you can join in. But I'd love for other folks who are on the call to maybe weigh in on the question, like what is something you didn't expect in your first 2 weeks of Kenzie?
I think there might still be some Kenzie people here. I don't know if
Oh,
they.
yeah. If you didn't get to go yet, can you please also introduce yourself? Anybody else?
Cecily, are you still here?
Yeah, it'd be good to hear.
Yeah, Cecily. Let's see.
See that? Check the yes.
I mean, I think if Cecily's on here, she'll just unmute herself.
No stress, no worries.
Yeah.
I think it would be good to have some questions. I might have to dip out in like 10 minutes, but like all the kinds of people just, pop in whenever you can to answer the questions.
Yeah.
So Trey asked in the chat here, what made you pick Kenzie over any others? Anybody want to take that one?
Oh,
Go ahead, Earth. All right. So what made me pick Kenzie? Okay, so basically, like I said before, like it was like they were responsive. Like it wasn't like I was waiting. Like just last week I got callbacks from like the other campuses that I applied to. I was like, yeah, so you're accepted now. I'm like, I've been waiting for y'all for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, you know what I'm saying? And now I'm getting a call back. I'm already in the school now. I'm not thinking about y'all no more, you know what I'm saying? And then the ISA was a big thing because the other schools I applied to, I had to like make a loan or sign a loan or try to do something like that, which is gonna put me more debt. And I'm not really trying. I'm already got student loan debt. I don't need any more of that. The ISA was like a big thing for me, in all honesty. Like, and then like, I mean, I didn't find this out till I started, but like just the homely vibe, and it's more like an intimate interaction with everybody. Is just like that's what's keeping me going, in all honesty.
I think the main reason for me, I think I said it before, was the Earn and Learn program. When I came back from Cali, I wasn't working, and I asked Ruben, like, what's up? I need to work. I need money. And he suggested Kenzie, and that was like my first choice, my first application. I got in, and then I think they put a call out or an email or something to apply for the Earn and Learn program. And it's definitely a process. Like, you're not just gonna get the job. You gotta go through steps to get it. And they're pretty strict about it. So, but yeah, that was my main reason. One of the main reasons, because I wanted to work while I was in school. So.
Speaking of being strict too, right? I think when I've talked to people that are interested in the Earn and Learn, and given what Babatunde is saying about how the Kenzie team and other people are on point with their follow up, if they're respecting you, they expect respect back as well. So if they're calling you and they're expecting you to show up to the interview, you want to treat that seriously, because those types of things can disqualify you from the job. They'll still love you and support you through the program so you can learn how to code, but you might not be able to get the check while you learn it. So treat it with respect. Time is valuable.
Yeah, and let me just add to what Ruben said. I think in this process, when you apply to the school, like a lot of the time, they're actually not looking at how good you are at coding, because it's their job to help you learn how to code. But they are looking at like, how is this person communicating with us? Do they miss interviews, or do they show up to interviews? When they show up to interviews, and this comes up during every interview, at the end, they usually say, do you have any questions for me? Like, how eager are you about their school? Have you done your due diligence? Have you done your homework? And the reason they ask you that is the way you treat your interview with the school, that's how you're going to treat your interview for a job, right? Because this is all going to repeat itself when you're graduating from a school. And so they want to make sure that if they're going to be taking a risk on you, that you also don't just kind of take it, just show up one day, not show up the other day, and because you're going to do the same thing during the interview process. So definitely take it seriously and treat it like a job interview. So definitely show up, and if you don't hear from them, follow up with them. Be like, hey, I know we were supposed to speak yesterday, like something happened, it didn't happen. When can we speak again?
Also, as you're going through these applications, the best way to help me help you is to make sure that you are updating things through Fast Track software. Also, there's going to be this thing that pops up called Give Karma, which means you giving feedback to the school and to us about things that you like about the application process, which will improve the experience for the next person. So make sure you use the Fast Track software, because we're starting to fully integrate the software with all the schools.
I also wanted to just quickly give my quick answer to Trey's question. So the thing that sent me to Kenzie initially was Earn and Learn. The thing that kept me there was when my ISA went pending, I was in tears. I was upset. And I called Jordan and I said, Jordan, I don't think I'm gonna be able to do this because my ISA didn't go through. And she said, okay, I'm gonna send a message to Erica now. She kept asking me questions. And as she was asking me questions, my phone line started beeping. I said, can you hold 1 second? Let me see who this is. And it was literally Erica on the other line calling me to try to come up with a solution. And I was like, me calling, getting an answer, and then she said, I'm sending the message and getting that call while still finishing up the first call. That was huge. And I was just like, I hadn't seen anything else this responsive. No one else is really working this hard, in my opinion. And so that's what kept me there.
Brandy, let me ask you a follow-up question. Did it live up to that standard and expectation during the course?
Yes, it's above and beyond. Literally, we'll be sitting there on our lecture and we'll see 10 new people pop in the chat, hey, I'm here for coaching. So it's like, not only do we have our instructor and our facilitators, but now we have between 7 and 10 students that have now popped in our chat to be available for all of us to say, hey, I need help. And, some of them are local to Indy, which you start at Kenzie, they're probably going to make you want to go move to Indy, because they had, it's so awesome. Just watch them. I want to have this fun that y'all are having too. I really wish I could move to Indy tomorrow, because I would. But yeah, it's definitely living up to the hype.
They was having parties on Friday. They was drinking.
Yes.
I was like,
man,
Final Fridays. It's like, I'm thinking about the last Friday of every month. I need to find myself at Kenzie for a week so that I can catch that innovative series along with Final Fridays. Yes.
We all taking a flight on the last Friday of the month. What's up?
I mean, so for people asking about, is Kenzie the only boot camp that has Earn and Learn? Currently, they're the only one that offers that. There are some boot camps that offer living stipends. There are some boot camps that offer TA positions and things like that. But Kenzie's the only one that does the thing with Apple right now.
I want to put in one more thing. So I would say don't let that be the only thing, George Kenzie, because I agree. That was a big thing. But I got denied. But because I got denied, and I told Matt and a few of the other people, they were like, okay, let us know. So because they're constantly looking at other places that they can actually try to find jobs for their students. So it's not like, oh man, I got denied, so I'm kind of SOL. They're actually currently looking for other ways for us students to, still do some type of Earn and Learn program through the school. So I mean, no, honestly, I've never seen anything like this before. I've never seen anybody as a school go out to bat for me.
I like that you made that follow up. I didn't even know that. That's fire. That's super cool.
Hey, Earth, real quick, aren't we the first hybrid cohort, the first cohort that's both in person and online?
Yes, we are.
That's what I thought. So yeah, we're the very first hybrid cohort that they have.
And by the way, when they were going through this first hybrid cohort, there was no August start dates. But as somebody said in the chat, once they felt that energy directly from all of you all coming from Career Karma, they opened up a start date for August, specifically for you all. For Annie, who's asking if it's expensive, the majority of people are doing ISAs. I think everybody from Career Karma is doing ISA, which is essentially a promise that says that they're going to get you a job above a certain salary. And if you don't get that job, you don't have to pay anything. If you do get a job, the tuition comes out of your new salary when you get a job. That's essentially what it is. And a hybrid cohort is essentially a combination of people in person and people online. I'm about to head to the CEO kickoff. Nice to see you all. Thank you all for joining.
Yeah. And we can keep going for another 10 minutes. And I appreciate everyone staying on. I know after class, you probably want to take a quick break. Can you all talk about your schedule? What does your day-to-day look like at Kenzie?
We wake up.
That's the first one.
What time do you all wake up? And maybe we hear from some folks who haven't gone yet.
So in Indy, the program is 9 to 3, but I live in Chicago, so it's 8 to 2. So I'm waking up at like 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, basically crawling out of bed. And then class starts at 8. We do our like check-in at like 8:15 with our like facilitators, and then around I think it's 8:30 we start class, and we're in there for like an hour 30, you know, and it's not like our teacher doesn't leave anything behind. Like if anybody has a question from anything from the day before, he answers it, and like detailed too. It's not like we just go like a brief little like, you know, let's just do this for like, you know, like 10-15 minutes, and then no, he's like almost like half the class sometimes is like, damn, like all right. Like, but and then after our demo, we're basically left to ourselves. So we're just sitting there basically doing work, and he's basically still in the classroom. So if anybody needs help, like we have him, the instructor, we have the facilitators in the chat and the coaches, and it's like, so really, I mean, it's really set up like if you're falling behind and you fall really behind, like you have nobody to blame but yourself, because the help is there, the resources are there. Like, like I don't know what to tell you really.
Yeah, and that's
ask questions. You will get your answer.
Yes, even the assessments that we have that's graded, it'll say on there, if you get stuck for more than 5 minutes, ask for help. Ask for help. Generally, you should, whenever you're doing the work, if you're stuck for more than 30 minutes, definitely ask for help.
Yeah. I think when it comes to some of the coding that you guys are doing, how's that? How much have you guys learned in the first 2 weeks?
A lot.
Definitely.
I thought I knew a lot about coding, and no.
How would you compare how much you knew before and how much you've learned in the last 2 weeks?
So basically a lot of what we learned is I would say like really super basics, like what I learned before was just like how to just code in like HTML and stuff like that, but I didn't know there was like right now we just learned about GitLab and stuff like that. I didn't know this was a thing that like people were using in order to like upload projects and stuff like that. I didn't really know how to work the terminal until like just last week. I mean, it's yeah.
Yeah. I think it goes to show that I think one of the benefits of doing a bootcamp is they teach you everything you need to know to be a developer, so you don't have to figure out on your own things that you don't know, right? Because the hardest thing is knowing what you don't know, right? And at a bootcamp, they teach it to you and they give you projects and they actually teach you by doing. So you're not just sitting in lectures all day. You actually get to build things. Let's do one more question from the audience. Anybody wants to ask a question?
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Danny. Welcome.
Thank you. So out of all the topics that you can learn before going there to Kenzie, what would you say is the most important, or what would you say to emphasize on before going?
Do Kenzie free. That's the first thing. Actually do Kenzie free. And then having a basic understanding of at least knowing what the terminal is and having that, because literally HTML is like the first day, and the terminal is the second day, and get is like by the end of the first week. And then after that, you're writing the JavaScript. So those 3 things.
Just to piggyback off that, I would say just go in there ready to hustle. Just go in there, just be ready to work hard, because most of the things that you do, they don't tell us we can't use Google. So if you can go to Google and find out how somebody else did it and try to kind of deconstruct that, you'll be fine. Be fine.
I got a question.
Yeah, jump in, Spencer. Is it Spencer?
Yeah. How's it going? Oh yeah, hello, this is Spencer. I had a question. You were saying about the Git flow. Is it when you do the Git flow, are you doing the forking and Git cloning and Git adding?
Yeah.
And Git
So
branching and Git commit and merge.
Yeah. So basically, the way that the assessments come out, they give it to you, and you have to go in GitLab and either fork it from an already made project, or you just make your own, and you use terminals to go ahead and upload your projects and push them to GitLab.
Okay. Are you ever using organizations, or is that just for the PMs to set up?
The organizations, we haven't got to that yet. I know what you mean. We haven't got to using organizations yet. I think that's what we're going to be working on soon, though. Eartha, when they started talking about we're going to do group coding, so I think that's when we'll get into the organizations then.
Yeah, cool.
How much?
Folks, I know it's getting late for a lot of people on the call. I want to just kind of quickly recap. I know some people might already be considering, some people might be looking at applying. I just want to emphasize that use people in the community to your advantage. You have now something that a lot of people wish they had. You have people who started Kenzie. You have people who started other boot camps. So reach out to them. Connect with them through the app. You can just message every single person that you got introduced to through the app, and you can connect with them. Join this Kenzie squad, right? Everyone who's on the call tonight, they're also part of the Kenzie squad. So if you have questions about the interviews, just jump in and ask questions. What a lot of people may not even know, because this is a brand new feature we released last week, is when you get to day 7 on Fast Track, and you start and you accept an offer for one of the schools, you can now look at reviews and testimonials from people who have completed different steps. And what that looks like is, if you're looking to do an interview, you can see what are other people ahead of you, what advice do they have for you as you're preparing for that specific step. So that's our way of helping you use Fast Track, use testimonials, prepare for it. The worst thing you can do is just not apply, not speak to people, and just pick one school and then hope that they accept you. The best thing that you can do for yourself is speak to many schools, speak to people, do Fast Track, and reach out to us if you get stuck on anything. And I just want to say thanks to everyone from Kenzie who just started. I'm so proud of every single one of you. Some of you have been with us for several months now. Some of you just joined a month ago, and everyone has their own journey, their own personal growth journey. So I'm so proud of every single one of you. And I just want to say thanks, and I can't wait to see where all of you end up. Let's give everyone a round of applause who joined tonight. Thank you all for joining.
Hold on.
Timur?
Yeah.
Sorry, I came here late, but how could I contact the people the 6 students or whatnot that Kenzie, like, what are the names?
Yeah.
I don't know
Join the Kenzie squad. If you join the Kenzie Academy squad in the app, maybe all the squad members, maybe you can post if you're one of the students who started, so people can reach out to you with questions. That's a good question, Spencer. I also want to remind to people who may have joined late that we are going to be giving away 2 laptops for people who have a start date in August and who got accepted. Just make sure that you let me know, or Ruben, or one of the community managers. that you got accepted and you have a start date, and you'll be entered into a raffle. And I think you'll have a pretty high chance of getting a laptop. Okay, so keep me posted. So great to see every single one of you. This is recorded, so if you missed something, just check the recording.
Oh, don't forget, I need my shirt.
And, we had to make a new order, so shirts are definitely coming.
Right.
Yeah, me too.
I'm gonna wait for 2-3 weeks.
I need to protect my dreams while I'm in class in the morning.
Right.
It's real. Protecting your dreams is real. So cool. Good night, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Let's break in.
Okay.
Good night.
Good night, everyone.